In the name of ELOH, the Yielder, the Merciful. By those who range themselves in ranks, and so are strong in repelling evil, and thus proclaim the message of ELOH, verily, verily, your God, ELOH, is one, sustainer of the heavens and of the earth, and all between them, and sustainer of every point at the rising of the sun. We have indeed decked the lower heaven with beauty and the stars for beauty, and for guard against all obstinate, rebellious, evil spirits, so they should not strain their ears in the direction of the exalted assembly, but be cast away from every side, repulsed, for they are under a perpetual penalty, except such as snatch away something by stealth, and they are pursued by a flaming fire of piercing brightness. Just ask their opinion. Are they the more difficult to create, or the other beings we have created? We have created them out of a sticky clay. Truly you marvel while they ridicule, and when they are admonished, pay no heed, and when they see a sign, turn it to mockery, and say, this is nothing but evident sorcery. What? When we die and become dust and bones, shall we then be raised up again? And also our fathers of old? You say, yes, and you shall then be humiliated on account of your evil. Then it will be a single compelling cry, and behold, they will begin to see. They will say, woe to us, this is the day of judgment. A voice will say, this is the day of sorting out, whose truth you once denied. Bring you up, it shall be said, the wrongdoers and their wives, and the things they worshipped besides ELOH, and lead them to the way to the fierce fire, but stop them, for they must be asked, what is the matter with you that you do not help each other? Nay, but that day they shall submit to judgment, and they will turn to one another and question one another. They will say, it was you who used to come to us from the right hand of power and authority. They will reply, nay, you yourselves had no faith, nor had we any authority over you. Nay, it was you who were a people in obstinate rebellion. So now has been proved true against us the word of our sustainer, that we shall indeed have to taste the punishment of our sins. We led you astray, for truly we were ourselves astray. Truly, that day they will all share in the penalty. Verily, that is how we shall deal with reprobates. For they, when they were told that there is no God except ELOH, would puff themselves up with pride and say, what? Shall we give up our gods for the sake of a poet possessed? Nay, he has come with the very truth, and he confirms the message of the messengers before him. You shall indeed taste of the grievous penalty, but it will be no more than the retribution of the evil that you have wrought. But the sincere and devoted servants of ELOH, for them is a sustenance determined, fruits, delights, and they shall enjoy honor and dignity in gardens of felicity, facing each other on thrones of dignity. Round will be passed to them a cup from a clear flowing fountain, crystal white, of a taste delicious to those who drink thereof, free from hiddiness, nor will they suffer intoxication therefrom. And besides them will be chaste women, restraining their glances with big eyes of wonder and beauty, as if they were delicate eggs closely guarded. Then they will turn to one another and question one another. One of them will start the talk and say, I had an intimate companion on the earth who used to say, what? Are you amongst those who bear witness to the truth of the message? When we die and become dust and bones, shall we indeed receive rewards and punishments? A voice said, would you like to look down? He looked down and saw him in the midst of the fire. He said, by ELOH, you were little short of bringing me to perdition. Had it not been for the grace of my sustainer, I should certainly have been among those brought there. Is it the case that we shall not die except our first death, and that we shall not be punished? Verily, this is the supreme achievement. For the like of this, let all strive who wish to strive. Is that the better entertainment, or the tree of Zaqqum? For we have truly made it as a trial for the wrongdoers. For it is a tree that springs out of the bottom of hellfire. The shoots of its fruit stalks are like the heads of devils. Truly, they will eat thereof and fill their bellies therewith. Then on top of that, they will be given a mixture made of boiling water. Then their return shall be to the blazing fire. Truly, they found their fathers on the wrong path, so they too were rushed down on their footsteps. And truly before them many of the ancients went astray. But we sent aforetime among them messengers to admonish them. Then see what was the end of those who were admonished, but heeded not, except the sincere and devoted servants of ELOH. In the days of old, Noah cried to us, and we are the best to hear prayer. And we delivered him and his people from the great calamity, and made his progeny to endure on the earth. And we left this blessing for him among generations to come in later times. Peace and salutation to Noah among the nations. Thus indeed do we reward those who do right, for he was one of our believing servants. Then the rest we overwhelmed in the flood. Verily, among those who followed his way was Abraham. Behold, he approached his sustainer with a sound heart. Behold, he said to his father and to his people, what is that you worship? Is it a falsehood, gods other than ELOH, that you desire? Then what is your idea about the sustainer of the boundless universes? Then did he cast a glance at the stars, and he said, I am indeed sick at heart. So they turned away from him and departed. Then he turned to their gods and said, will you not eat of the offerings before you? What is the matter with you, that you speak not intelligently? Then he turned upon them, striking them with the right hand. Then came the worshippers with hurried steps and faced him. He said, do you worship that which you have yourselves carved? But ELOH has created you and your handiwork. They said, build him a furnace and throw him into the blazing fire. This failing, they then sought a stratagem against him, but we made them the ones most humiliated. He said, I will go to my sustainer. He will surely guide me. O my sustainer, grant me a righteous son. So we gave him the good news of a boy ready to suffer and forbear. Then, when the son reached the age of serious work with him, he said, O my son, I see in vision that I offer you in sacrifice. Now see what is your view. The son said, O my father, do as you are commanded. You will find me, if ELOH so wills, one practicing patience and constancy. So when they had both submitted their wills to ELOH, and he had laid him prostrate on his forehead for sacrifice, we called out to him, O Abraham, you have already fulfilled the vision. Thus indeed do we reward those who do right. For this was obviously a trial. And we ransomed him with a momentous sacrifice, and we left this blessing for him among generations to come in later times. Peace and salutation to Abraham. Thus indeed do we reward those who do right, for he was one of our believing servants, and we gave him the good news of Isaac, a prophet, one of the righteous. We blessed him and Isaac But of their progeny are some that do right, and some that obviously do wrong to their own souls. Again, of old, we bestowed our favor on Moses and Aaron, and we delivered them and their people from their great calamity, and we helped them, so they overcame their troubles. And we gave them the book which helps to make things clear, and we guided them to the straight way. And we left this blessing for them among generations to come in later times. Peace and salutation to Moses and Aaron. Thus indeed do we reward those who do right. For they were two of our believing servants. So also was Elias among those sent by us. Behold, he said to his people, will you not fear ELOH? Will you call upon Baal and forsake the best of creators? ELOH, your sustainer and cherisher, and the sustainer and cherisher of your fathers of old. But they rejected him, and they will certainly be called up for punishment, except the sincere and devoted servants of ELOH among them. And we left this blessing for him among generations to come in later times. Peace and salutation to such as Elias. Thus indeed do we reward those who do right. For he was one of our believing servants. So also was Lot among those sent by us. Behold, we delivered him and his adherents, all except an old woman who was among those who lagged behind. Then we destroyed the rest. Verily, you pass by their sights by day and by night. Will you not understand? So also was Jonah among those sent by us, when he ran away like a slave from captivity to the ship fully laden. He agreed to cast lots, and he was condemned. Then the big whale swallowed him, and he had done acts worthy of blame. Had it not been that he repented and glorified ELOH, he would certainly have remained inside the well till the day of resurrection. But we cast him forth on the naked shore in a state of sickness, and we caused to grow over him a spreading plant of the gourd kind, and we sent him on a mission to 100,000 men or more, and they believed. So we permitted them to enjoy their life for a while. Now ask them their opinion. Is it that your sustainer has only daughters and they have sons? Or that we created the angels female and they are witnesses thereto? Is it not that they say from their own invention, ELOH has begotten children? But they are liars. Did he then choose daughters rather than sons? What is the matter with you? How do you judge? Will you not then receive admonition? Or do you have an authority manifest? Then you bring your book of authority if you be truthful. And they have invented a blood relationship between him and the jinns. But the jinns know quite well that they have indeed to appear before his judgment seat. Glory to ELOH. He is free from the things they ascribe to him. Not so do the servants of ELOH, sincere and devoted. For verily, neither you nor those you worship can lead any into temptation concerning ELOH, except such as are themselves going to the blazing fire. Those ranged in ranks say, not one of us but has a place appointed, and we are verily ranged in ranks for service. And we are verily those who declare ELOH's glory. And there were those who said, if only we had before us a message from those of old, we should certainly have been servants of ELOH, sincere and devoted. But now that the Koran has come, they reject it, but soon will they know. Already has our word been passed before this to our servants sent by us, that they would certainly be assisted, and that our forces they surely must conquer. So turn away from them for a little while, and watch them how they fare, and they soon shall see how you fare. That they wish indeed to hurry on our punishment, But when it descends into the open space before them, evil will be the morning for those who were warned and heeded not. So you turn away from them for a little while, and watch how they fare, and they soon shall see how you fare. Glory to your sustainer, the sustainer of honor and power. He is free from what they ascribe to him. And peace on the messengers, and praise to ELOH, the sustainer and cherisher of the boundless universes.